Good evening, everyone, and welcome to DES209. This is our week 3, session 2 lecture. And how are you guys doing tonight? Are we having fun yet? Well, I hope we're all having fun. Everybody ready for social media advertising? It's so much fun. And yes, we are playing in Photoshop tonight. Gotta love it. So you guys have now seen my wonderful slide. It's been recorded. I'm going to switch now to a new screen share. And we're going to take a look here. So what I have here on the wonderful Facebook page is that you can go in here on the Creative Hub, and I'll give you guys that link if it would just stop processing. I've been playing around with it today just so you guys can get an idea of how to get the piece that we need to mock up and how to create an actual ad. So let me, I don't know if this link is going to work, but you guys are more than welcome to take a screenshot off of this. However, it's going to be more along the lines of what size are you going to be using. So you can go to the hub. How I got there from Facebook was going into my personal account and telling it I needed to do the Facebook ads. So when it said create ad down here or along on the left side, or sorry, right side, because I can't tell right from left today, we are going to take a look here. And I scrolled all the way down. And I went down here to Facebook. I think I went to advertising. And then it let me decide. It's got this whole manager thing where I go in and I boost posts so more people in my areas can see it. So what I did was I wanted to create an ad. And if you don't have a business page, this is going to be harder to do. So what I have and what I will probably do if anybody requests it is send you a copy of what I've been working on. So what I've got here, which is pretty cool, is some mock-ups that are actually openable in Photoshop, which I found really cool. All I had to do was search for it. So if anybody's missing their mock-ups and needs some place to figure out where to go to find them, we've got some great ones that are just in here, and you just click on print when creating a new document and tell them what you want to create. And tonight we're going to be working on the magazine ads and the social media. So I can download this. It's an Adobe stock. And it's going to be a magazine mock-up. And that's my preview. Now, I don't need to do a whole mock-up of the magazine ad tonight because the kind of jumping up a little bit before putting our horse before our cart. And Jen, did you know that if you eat an Arby's spicy chicken sandwich that your lips can go numb now? That was, my lips aren't working real great tonight. Hi, Lee. Poor Jen has been here suffering through me stumbling over my words because I ate a spicy chicken sandwich and my lips are now numb. I didn't know that could happen. This one's a weird one. So I was just saying that look what I found in the print setup for a new document. Aren't these awesome? We got bookmarks or book mock-ups, shipping labels, unwrapped business cards, all kinds of really cool stuff. These are mock-ups, yeah. And you can download them directly from Simple Ziller, yep, continue. It just automatically downloads them to, it's so cool. This is going to make life a lot easier for anybody that wants to do mock-ups. So I thought I would show you guys this, and then we're going to take a little side trip over because I'm working on trying to create a template to do a mock-up for my social media ad. And I'm going to open that. And I'll have to put my own copy and text in here and everything. But you see, it has all of the options right here in my, everything in my layers is good to go for this. So I can use this as a mock-up. I can put my own information in, or I can create my very own. I know, it's just awesome. So I wanted to try something. Oh, let me start this. I've been working on this all afternoon, so you guys would have a mock-up of where everything was supposed to go and what we're going to cut out and paste and mask and do all that stuff. But since we have Photoshop open, I thought we would explore this a little bit for the web and see if there's a social media ad in here anywhere that we can use. So we're just going to type social media in here and hit go. You saw that I clicked the web, right? Okay, so when I'm looking here at the social media ads, I've got several different sizes. I talked so much yesterday, I lost all of the stuff in your mouth that makes your lips work. It's just so much fun. But these are really cool mock-ups that you can use to give your client a better understanding of what it is you're actually doing. And I couldn't wait to show you guys because they are so cool. So let's see if there's a Facebook. Ooh, looky there. So we've got Christmas social posts. You can bundle all of these up in different sizes. And let's see what else we got. No results for business. Oh, awesome. I can't wait to see it. I love it when you guys are posting cool stuff. I got to actually sit down and see everybody's single file today when I graded the discussion posts. And I was really impressed when I got in there and I looked at the amount of work some of you've done and the pictures you posted. And it really helped. Yeah, Facebook ads. Really helped me see how far you guys have come since seeing you in Photoshop, Illustrator, or even DES109 or 105 for page layout tools. So getting to see some of you that have been coming along and riding the train with me throughout the last year and getting you guys to, and seeing how you've grown from coming in to see me in the Student Success Center versus where you are today. I'm very proud of all of you. Some of your skills have just really gone out the, from where you guys started, say way back in DES 104, if I had you, or I saw you in the Student Success Center for it, you guys have come a really long way. So if you are not happy with where you were sitting at right now with your grade and you want to resubmit anything, now's the time to do it because you guys are hanging in there. You're doing a great job. And I'm very impressed with some of the skill sets you guys have been practicing over the last year. So I just wanted to give you that pat on the back and say, yay! So everybody that I've seen Lee, I've seen Lalisha, I think I've seen Jen in the Student Success Center. that it gives me such a thrill to see where you guys are coming from. It's so neat. So I don't have any Facebook ads in here other than the generic ones. And I don't think I can do the like. Yeah, don't have those. So what I've done is I have created, oh, we were going to look at that later, Photoshop. Ooh, wireframing set. Just take a look at that. Just click on the preview. So this is actually going to be very helpful when you guys get into doing website designs. I like this. This is neat. But as I digress, I'm going to close this, and I will probably download that at a later point, but I want you guys to be, the wireframing. Yeah, I know some of you guys are taking web design this mod. And from what I hear, some of you are doing really well, especially since it's the first class where you're, between here and web design, you're getting your very first taste of those creative briefs. And sometimes they aren't pretty. Good, I'm glad you guys are having fun with it. I can't do code. However, I can work in Adobe Muse because it's WYSIWYG. And that's how I put my website together. And I'm going, thank you. For me, I hate to say it, but I'm an idiot when it comes to code. There are programmers out there that can see the pictures and the layout and design in the code. And then there are people like me who has to have the whole picture in front of me so I can play with it. And yeah, Alicia, I was the same way. I got caught up in the colors and trying to make a whole theme. And then I let everything slip away from me because of that whole KISS principle and needing to fill every single inch of white space. I'm really bad at that. It comes from spending too much time in a newspaper production office and being aware of how much an ad per inch is in a newspaper. I got stuck in it. And you've got to have this triangle layout when you open a newspaper because the postage is charged based on how many inches of advertising are on each page. And you have to mark it up and you have to send it with the bundles and everything to mail out. And it's a really huge process just to get the mailing done. And we were doing it all by hand back in 1994. And we were doing it by hand up until 1998 when I took time off to be a mommy. So it's watching how it's progressed over the last 20 years or so, really come a long way. But that need in newspaper to fill every inch and get every inch of money out of it that you possibly can and stuff everything into this tiny little box. Yeah, they want their bang for the buck, but they don't realize that if they made it simpler and easier to contact, then the advertisers would actually show up better against all of that itty bitty squish text in a 2-inch ad. It boggles my mind. It is challenging. It's fun, but it's challenging, but it takes away the design principles that we're teaching you because honestly, when you're doing production as an intern, and even as you move up into an assistant and a production manager, you're still dealing with those clients that want to fill every inch of space because they want their bang for their buck, which then leads us into the magazine ads, which are short, simple, and to the point. And that kind of gets a little bit away from us as we're going through it. So tonight, what I've done is I have created this artboard. And it's a little bit bigger than anything I would actually work with for web design because if I go into my image size, or we'll say canvas size, It's a huge amount of canvas. Now I can shrink this down, but I wanted it to be big enough so you guys could see what I'm actually doing here. So what I did is I went to Facebook, and somehow or another, I got into the Creative Hub, which you would think I would be over here, but it says Ads Manager, and I want to go to the Creative Hub. There it is. And I access this from my page just by going down to the bottom and going to Ads. So I click on the Creative Hub, and I don't know if this link is going to work for you guys. I don't know if it's specific to me. But once you get into the Creative Hub, you can create a mock-up. And that's what I did. I came in here. It tells me that I'm recommended 1200 by 628 pixels. It allows me to put my picture in, which is 180 by 180 pixels for this type of ad that we're wanting to do. And that's in the mobile newsfeed. We have feature phone, desktop newsfeed is what I did. And I can have flip through and find the one I want to work with. Now, I took a screenshot of this after I blew it up because I wanted to create my own mock-up for it. So what I did is I just did a Command plus so I could get it a decent image of it into my screen. And I took my screenshot from here. I just went from inside, Shift Command 4, from inside this. And this is how, sometimes you have to do this, is make your own mock-ups. So I took my picture, and if you guys are seeing this really huge test page mock-up, to take your picture, it's Shift Command 4 on your MacBooks, and on the PCs, it's print screen, and then you're just going to have to place it into Photoshop. Now, I've saved it, and I put some text in here, and I just decided, you know what? I don't want to deal with creating this mock-up in my Facebook because I want to do Photoshop. I just need the basic pieces so I can mock it up for a customer to see. Sounds like I was really overthinking this today, right? I'm going to build the whole ad and everything in the Creative Hub for Facebook. And that's how you would go through it if you were just on your own. And it would start everything out and follow through. And now it's going to tell me that I have a single ad format waiting, and then I can update it and how to upgrade. I don't need all that. I just want to do a mock-up. So all I need is a screenshot, right? So I came over to Photoshop and I opened a brand new document. And I started with a 5x7 artboard so that I could get the sizes I wanted. And I knew I need to have some text down here underneath my picture. So I made it a little bit longer so I could have that character information. Sounds really complicated, right? I know I've confused myself at least 3 times today trying to figure out what I'm doing. But then again, I was confused anyway because I'm Dory the fish. Lalisha, Jen, are you following along with me? Are you following my train of thought? I hope I haven't lost anybody. That would just be, you know, the icing on the cake today. So this turned out to be a really big template. Okay, good. Everybody's following along. So what I did is I placed my screenshot in here and I masked it. So I masked it so I have my like, comment, and share, so I don't have to recreate these. And then I fixed it so I have some extra space here in the bottom. And all I really did was stretch out the artboard size, place 2 images, and mask out the pieces I want and don't want. sounds far more complicated than it is. It's actually pretty easy. But since I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and save this now. And I'm actually going to make it a Photoshop template if it will let me do that. I'm going to save it as Photoshop. And I'm going to actually save this so I don't lose it again for another 209 class. Because this is actually going to make everything a lot easier as I move forward. Okay, so, big day. Now I've got all these little spaces in here where I'm going to need extra layers. So I have to have a layer for this. I have to change this text out and add my information on here. I need to leave the sponsored paste alone, leave the like page and the comments and everything down here alone, and then I need to put a picture in. Now the picture and our assignments they're all downloadable, and you've got all of that information for everything we need in the week 3 assignment. And these images are going to be with you in your ad design campaign as well. So if we're going to do fit, fun food images, or Everlure, you just click on them and download them, and then you're going to open them. And if you're using a PC for this part, I'm sorry, I can't do it unless I can't tell you how to open a zip file on a PC unless I'm actually looking at the PC. I'm good, I'm just not that good. So Fit Fun Food has some really nice images that we can use for the ads, the social media, and the magazine. So when I go back into my 209 folder and I go back to week 1 and I take a look at my logos, and I have my Fit Fun Food logo and it's recreated, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to Photoshop, and then I'm going to get Finder out on top again. And I'm actually just going to bring and drop it over here. Now it tells me I've got my 4 pieces, and I really like the one that we recreated. So some of you are going to be using your recreations. I'm going to click OK. Now, here's the hard part. I got to make it fit over this little box here. So I'm actually going to have to draw, I'm going to place the file, and I'm going to draw my shape over the box, just like this. And I don't really want it black, I want it white, so it's automatically opened up my properties for me, and I'm just going to change it to white. Can't hardly tell I was there. Then I'm going to take this one, and it's going to look like I'm behind it, because I am, and I'm just going to rearrange the order in my layers. I'm going to hold my Shift key down and resize this so it fits within that box. Now, it may look a little funny. So I'm going to hit Enter, turn off the eyeball on my rectangle, and make sure I'm fitting Fit Fun Food in here where it's the best options for it to be seen. And sometimes that just means nudging it over a little bit with your arrow keys. So then I can turn on that layer again, and I now have my Fit Fun Food. I know, sounds horribly complicated. Now I gotta have this color of text. Does anybody know what this font is? For the test page font? I'm testing your knowledge. You could use Arial. If you're on a PC, you may or may not have Helvetica. But I do believe if you look for the Facebook branding guide in Google, which it's open to everybody because everybody puts the Facebook, the like page, everything that you need to use to be compatible with Facebook to show for your clients and show for your work is available on that brand book, and it's posted online for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They all have these brand books that shows you how to use their logos and how to use them correctly, because they want mastered branding throughout the whole internet and follow along with them so that they have their branding, but yet we as designers can use that information to make sure that their branding is being preserved while we're doing our clients. I'm personally really thankful for that. I would be lost without it some days. So I know that this is Helvetica or Arial, depending on what computer you're using, PC or Mac, because I think the PCs have Arial, but they don't have Helvetica coming installed like it does on the Mac. So now I'm going to figure out, what am I going to do with this? So I'm actually going to do a Command J on this layer. It's going to copy it for me, and I'm going to bring it up here to the top. And you notice I have it's a masked layer. So I'm adjusting the mask, but I want to turn off everything that's not a part of this. And I want to fill in the white space here. I'm going to take my box, and this is really the hard way around it. I'm going to move it up here, and I'm going to refill my mask with black paint. And then I'm going to take a white paintbrush, and I'm going to mask out the pieces I need. So I know I've got a little bit too much. I just need the text that says sponsored and add a new photo. I don't even need the sponsored. So I'm going to flip my text copy around, or my paint around, and I'm going to take everything that says test page out and just leave this added new photo. Now I can type this in or I can add it. It doesn't really matter, but I wanted you guys to kind of practice and play a little bit with your masking layers. So I know some of you are just dying to get in there and play with it. But if you want to type it, we're good to go. So how do I get my Facebook color? Yeah, that's a hard one. No, it's not. I can come over here and I hover over the P, and I find I may have to enlarge this a little bit to get into the blue color. So I want to sample the blue. Oh, it's sampling the black. So let's select down here. There's my Facebook blue. And I'm going to just add this to my swatches. And I'm going to call it Facebook blue. Okay, so now I have my text color, or my body copy color, and it saved it. It's so pretty. I like my pretties. So now when I turn on my masking pages down here, I actually have to come in and do a little bit of editing so that these are gone. Turn that off real quick. Oh, that didn't work. So it's this mask that I have to be careful with. So now I've got pretty much a blank canvas and everybody's showing up where they're supposed to be, except for this guy. And I know I'm going to have too much paper or too much white space here. So I'm going to get my text tool And I'm going to click and type. And I'm going to open up my characters, which are here. And I'm going to use Helvetica. And I'm just going to choose regular. And I'm not going to worry about the size until I'm ready to shrink it down. So I need to write fit, fun, food. And I'm thinking this might be just a little bit too thin, you know, type. Wonder if we should do this bold. So I'm going to double click on that and go to regular and try bold. Hi, Lisa. Glad you guys could make it tonight. Yeah, we're just going to go with bold for the fun of it. So I'm going to, now I'm going to move this over here into position and shrink it down so that it fits within my area that I need it to. So I've got to make sure it looks like it's approximately the same size. And I'm really just kind of matching it. I'm eyeballing it. I could make it, use the ads and make it, you know, top dog. But what I really want to do is then I want to take this new photo piece here. And that's going to give me an idea of where I need to resize my text a little bit so that it looks like they belong together. Hit enter, and then I'm going to nudge that piece over a bit. So now it looks like it's actually doing what it's supposed to do, right? So what's my next step? I've got my logo icon in there. I've got Fit Fun Food. They're matching pretty well. So what's next? What do I need? I need a picture, right? Yeah, I need a picture. So again, that's where we're going to come down here. And I'm going to turn everything off real quick. Except for the Fit Fun Food. I want that to stay there. And now I can see that I just have the picture. And I'm just going to do a Command J on this layer here after I've masked everything out. And I'm going to move it to the very top. So I need to clear out this space here. So to do that, I'm going to play with the mask a bit. And I'm going to draw, so I'm going to select this. And I'm just going to cut a hole in this layer. Once it's selected, all I have to do is go to select and mask. That's exactly what I want it to look like. And I'm going to tell it decontaminate color so I can get a new layer with layer mask. And it turns off that original. Oops, I did this the wrong way. I need to select inverse for this. Select and mask. So now I got a hole. There we go. So now when I turn off everybody else, we don't see anything. I do need to still come in here with my layer mask and take out the like, comment, and share buttons because I just don't need them. So as long as I'm in my space, I'm good to go. So now I'm going to place my images. And we've downloaded all of the images that we need from Fit Fun Food into the downloads. And there's some really awesome images in here. And I think for the Facebook, I'm going to go with the Mexican food because it's nice, vibrant, pretty colors. So I'm just going to click and drag it over here, and it's going to place it. That it's in the wrong order. So I'm going to place it and drag it down here. And oops, that's not working. So just because I don't want to spend all night trying to do my Facebook ad, I'm going to draw a white rectangle. And I'm going to make that white. So now I'm doing pretty good. I've got everything where I need. And I'm going to turn everything back on so we can see where we're at. Okay, so where is our Fit Fun Food logo? I hope we didn't lose that. Okay, so we're going to put the text, move the text up on top so it shows, and our layer mask with that. I'm fighting myself, guys. This is turning out to be such a wonderful project. So I'm going to play with some colors here in my paintbrush. And this is what happens when I start thinking too much. I'm just going to color it back in here. And because I have that mask on that top layer, I can just color it in. And it's not really paying attention to where it came from. So I'm just erasing that portion of it. And I need to, nope, that's good. That. Going to draw, where is it? Flip this around. You guys can see where I'm messing up. It's just not allowing me to do what I want it to. And you know why? Because I'm not on the right layer. Need to be adjusting this one. I've gotten my layer screw up. Yeah, I know. This is what I do. I have to work through it. No matter how many times I do these examples, I still have to go back and redo it. And I'm glad you guys are getting to see me flounder with the tools, because this is what you guys are going to be doing. How much troubleshooting do you guys think I do in an average day for Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign? I do a lot. And it's not just on my work. It's on everybody's work. So you guys know I work in the Student Success Center on Mondays and Saturdays, and I have the Intro to Mac workshop tomorrow night. But guess what? 90% of the time when you guys come in, it's a technical difficulty issue, right? You can't remember what tool you were supposed to use, something locked up, it's not working correctly. And how do you guys think we learn this stuff? Do you think they gave us a manual and said, okay, this is what you need to do? Or you're missing a step? Yeah. Do you think we automatically knew with the book about what happened where? No, you're right, Luisha, we don't know. We're clueless. We were all in your guys' shoes, and it comes from trial and error and practice. And who's heard me say that these programs are like a musical instrument? Yeah, you guys have all heard it. And it really is. It's a musical instrument that you have to practice with. If you don't practice with it, you're never going to figure out these little tips, tricks, and workarounds that we come up with. And I'm going to tell you right now, half of this masking is on the fly, because I want you guys to see my creative process when I'm working on something, because you guys need to know you're not alone when it comes to these programs. Every single graphic designer that I have ever met and ever worked with has started out here, where they're working around with an ad, they're trying to get something done, and nothing is cooperating. It's kind of sad when I think about it. So I got to find out where I'm at in my box here so I can fix this. So I'm going to go step back a little bit. Glad you guys understand. So what I'm doing is I'm taking Command Z, Shift Command Z, and Command Z. Yeah, there we go. Command Z, and I want to make sure that my picture is okay, but I'm not getting where I want to go. So what do? I go to my history panel. It's right here, and it tells me where I start messing up. So I can click on it, and there's one. There's my brush tool. Everything here now almost looks right. Back to normal. This is what I want. Right? So I'm going to delete this untitled layer here. And my layer 1, that's just a background layer. I'm going to delete that. I've got my rectangle, which I need to move up and put it on top so I have all that. And then I've got my Fit Fun Food. And I think somehow I deleted my logo. No, I deleted my logo. So I'm going to go back into my folder again, put it back in there. Just going to drag and drop it. I want this one. No, we're just going to do page. I want page 4. Place my file. And do you guys see the pink lines when I'm moving this around? That tells me when I'm lined up correctly. So I'm going to hold my Shift key down and do this again until I find the approximation of it. Now my logo that I did for this course is a bit thinner, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit. And then on this page, got my Fit Fun Food, and type in logo. So I've got my text, my logo, and my rectangle. Now I've got to find this one here. So I got to white out some of this, but I'm not liking the way it's working. So I'm going to turn that layer off. Everything else is working well. And I'm going to add a rectangle over this piece here. And it's going to show it blue at first, but I have, oh, awesome, it went to black. Gave me my properties, and I'm just going to choose white. I'm going to put that logo back up there along with my rectangle. Oh, wrong rectangle. I need the box. Okay, so there we go. Now I've got this one. And if I move this one over, I have my show transform controls locked, and it's going to show me where I need to be. And so that's showing me my okay, I'm looking for that one little tiny masked piece that I masked out. Does anybody remember which layer I put it on? Okay, so there's one. We need that. Got the logo. Got our like page. Here's our text. So here, and our paintbrush, you've got a little bit of fixing to do so that it comes through. So that's good. Okay, we got that. Happens when we turn on the next one. There we go. So here on this layer, I need to adjust this body copy. I'm going to take it out so I can see mine. And then I'm going to clean up just by flipping it. And then flip it again because I'm just being overly cautious here. So now I need that added, a new photo. So this is a mask again, and I'm going to fix that. And I'm making this far harder than it should be, guys. How many times have I told you guys not to overthink it? Yeah, I'm making this far harder than it needs to be. And my brush is entirely too big, so I have to keep flipping back and forth. How many of you guys do this? Everybody does it, right? We all find the best way to work with something. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys. Nobody does it the same way. There's no right or wrong to it. As long as it looks like you got to the same point, you're doing pretty awesome. It's all about trying to get your eye where it needs to go. Kind of mind-boggling, isn't it? Does it make anybody else's head hurt? Yeah. See, you're not alone. But when you guys are practicing with the software and you're trying to find a way around it like we're doing right now, and you find that one perfect solve, and then you do this. I want to move my picture. Look what happens. All that hard work I did is, uh-oh. Yeah, you got to step back from it. You cannot, be in there all the time. So now I have to figure out, darn it, I got to move my page back down so it doesn't show. And I need to fix my layers in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Got to fill this in with black. So I could have got rid of that white spot that was showing up. So we're almost done with this, right? Looks amazing. It almost looks like a real professional did it, right? Not that I'm not a professional, but I want you guys to see that it's not that bad of it's not that big of a problem if you don't figure out where you've gone, because there's always somebody there that can help you get through it. I know it doesn't seem like it very often because we're just, you know, everybody's just absolutely bonkers when it comes to Photoshop. You either love it or you really, really hate it. I love it. So guess what I have to do now? Anybody want to guess? I love Photoshop, but yeah, it can cause a migraine and hair pulling instances because I've got masking where it shouldn't be. I've got my layers in the wrong order. I didn't, you know, I got to put my text under my pick, but I got to do something first. What I'm going to do next, and I want you guys to remember this, it's Shift, Command, Alter Option, and the letter E. Now it's Option on the command on the MacBook, and it's Alt on the PC. But watch what this does. So I'm going to hold Shift, Command, Option, E, and this does take two fingers or two hands because of all the fingers involved. And what does it do? It gives me a new layer here, but it's not where I want it. I want it up here. So I'm going to do Shift, Command, Option, E. And now when I turn everything off, I have a flat image that I can work with. So I've turned everything else off. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select all of it, and I'm going to put it into a folder. So it's group 1, and I'm going to call it Working Layers. So now if I need to, I can come in here and adjust any one of these. But for the moment, I have everything where I want it. And it looks a lot cleaner, right? I have a fresh canvas to start with for my next piece of text. So I'm going to put it in the chat box just so everybody can see it. It's Shift, Command, or Control on the PC. Yeah, if you do not have dexterity in your fingers, it is definitely going to take two hands to do the shortcut. But what you're doing is you're flattening it all into one layer so that now you can't adjust any of your working layers. And if I screw up, I can turn off my working layers and go turn all of this stuff back on and readjust it. And now that I have it grouped, not sure why I have this issue now. But I can turn this off and I have just this flat image to work with. That is a saving grace when you have lost yourselves in your layers. Who else forgets to label their layers? Yes, I'm sitting here in my office with my hand in the air. Yeah, see? I don't layer or label my layers until I'm done because I need to know what I'm working with and where I need to see my shapes. You guys may need to be, may have a friendlier time with your fingers, remembering what the shortcut keys are. But it's taken me 20 years to memorize some of this stuff. You always know Command Z is your best friend. Command C is for cut. Command V is for paste, except for in Photoshop. And then it's Command J to duplicate a layer. Yeah. Out of all three shortcut keys you should ever remember, actually it's 4. Command Z for undo. What's Command B, Lee? Share that one with me. Command V is in Victor for paste. Command J, oh yes, for bolding everything. Yeah, with typesetting, Command B for bold. That only works if your font has bold face though. If you don't have a bold face, it won't work. Yeah, inset type spacing panel, yeah. Sometimes you have to fake that bold, right? Yeah, it can be a lifesaver. And the, Command Z for undo, Command J for duplicating a layer, copy and paste. Now, those are my big go-tos. My fingers remember those regardless of whether my head does. Because there could be 3 people standing in my office and 4 cats all hollering for the attention of one person, plus trying to do this for a client. And in our business, time is money, right? So the less time it takes us to do something by memorizing the shortcuts and figuring out a workflow that is good for us, you personally, that's going to save you a ton of time. Now, I've been attempting to get my husband to learn the shortcut keys in Microsoft Word. All I really want him to do is copy and paste and undo. That's all he needs to know. It's just 3 shortcut keys. What did I have to do? I had to print out a giant poster and put it on the wall in front of his computer so he could read it. Yeah. And then he calls me back into the office because he's into his office, which is on the other end of the house, by the way. He'll come, I can hear him hollering down the hallway, or he'll send a kid to come get me to figure out what he did to his project. And he's only working in Microsoft Word. He hasn't even made it into InDesign yet. He's still working on the body copy. He's still writing a letter or an article and wanting me to proofread it. And I'm going, you realize I can't, proofread without a red pen, right? So I have to print everything he does off and then mark it up with printers or proofreaders marks, which he doesn't understand because it's like shorthand to him. And it's not something we teach in school now, but it's something I had to learn as a proofreader and as a input in my graphic design intern days. I did a lot of typesetting in the very, very old PageMaker software. So when they showed me InDesign, I'm going, oh, wow. I keep telling him he's lucky to have me lead, but I think he forgets when he's in a project that it's just lost. He's gone over the deep end. So I need to come back over here and we're going to finish up our text. So I know my Fit Fun food is about the right size. So I'm just going to do a Command J and I'm going to bring it to the very top here. And then I'm going to close up my group and I'm going to select my layer, my Fit Fun food copy. And we're going to bring it down here, line it up with the box. And now I need that gray color. So I'm just going to zoom in a bit so I can get the right shade of gray. And I'm going to add it to my swatches. I'm going to name it Facebook Gray. And watch, I spelled gray the wrong way again. That would be my luck. So now I'm looking at it. It's nice and clean. I do have some pixelation going on with the body copy or the text copy that's already existing, but I really want this to look exactly like a Facebook ad. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to then come down here, double click on my text, choose my Facebook Gray. Now I've got gray. What's our body copy? So now I'm going to take the bold off and I'm going to go back to regular. And what am I going to say here? Delivered to, so I've got to watch this. Coming to the end of my line. Anybody else see what's going on here? My leading is entirely too tight. So that's when I get to come over here, go to window, go to character, and I'm going to get my leading. And it's at 3.98 points. That did it automatically. So I'm going to set it to auto. Program error. Awesome. Okay, so let's just Command Z. Where does my text go? I don't like that. I had such good body copy. That's so bites. See, you guys aren't the only one that loses something. So take my bold off, go with regular, and we're going to pull out the program here. Going to do auto on our leading. That should fix our problem. New meal service based on your family's needs in today's sugar-loaded processed foods. This mail delivery service of fresh, organic foods. I gotta hit a return here based on your family's needs. So what I need here to make this all look right, I'm going to play with my tracking a little bit. So I'm going to take my tracking down to 0. I cannot believe it just did that again. Somebody take a screenshot. It's going to kill me. It went back to exactly where it was. I don't know why it's doing that. You guys aren't the only one that has problems that show up. So here we go again. I'm going to change my color to Facebook gray. Hit OK. My leading is going to be 0. My tracking or auto tracking is going to be 0. Now we're going to type again, and we're going to turn off the bold. We're going to make it regular. I don't know what this program error is. I don't like it. Okay, I want to change that. Okay, I think I finally got it, so it's going to stay put. What do you guys think? You think it's going to keep causing me that error message? That would be my luck today, right? Okay, so I'm showing I'm a little bit outside of my text or my picture here, and I want to just bring it in a little bit. So I'm just going to shift and hold down that, move that corner a little bit, hit enter, and it's good to go. So now we have our social media ad. Now, according to our assignment, which I have spent far too much time doing, got to have a cohesive message. We've got the new design logo. I did not put the slogan in because I did not write one. So you guys need to use your slogan. And really, for your slogan, all you really have to do is just put it down here in the body copy. It's not going to go up here. It's just going to be in your body copy. So yes, I'm overthinking things because I know that's what some of you are going to do that aren't here in the lecture. Got to have the client contact info. Oh, this is the magazine ad. Back over to the assignment. That's the discussion. Where am I going, guys? Okay, assignment. We haven't even gotten to the library or to the magazine ad yet. So the social media banner ads. You have leak-free assignment, the approved images or everything in the assignment. So this is the social media is the assessment. You only have to do one ad, and Facebook, Google, and Twitter, they have links here that you can use to get in there. When you save this, you're going to turn it in as a JPEG. Sounds complicated, right? No, it's not. So what I want to do is I'm going to save it as my regular file. And then I'm going to go to File, Save As. Actually, I can't do that yet. I've got to go to Image, Image Size. And I need to make sure that this is 72 pixels per inch. I've got to keep this locked so it stays in proportion. And I'm going to hit OK. That is a lot smaller, right? And when I blow it up to 100% or to the screen size, it is going to look a little bit more pixelated, even though I know my text is correct. That's just because I've put it down, taken it from 300 dpi to 72. Now, when I save as, I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Just going to change the format. And this is where I'm going to put that DES209 week 3 assessment. And I have a bad habit of using spaces instead of underscores. And I'm going to make it a relatively high, it's still only 425. So as long as I have that 72 pixels per inch, I'm golden. Because it won't take very long to submit that file. And what it looks like when you're all said and done, and you open it in preview, there's your JPEG. Now, I'm not sure why. Oh, yes, I do know why. Because I changed the image size. So here in Photoshop, because I don't want all that extra white space, I need to double check my artboard. And if I were to zoom out, Command minus, I got to find out where my artboard is. I can even make a second artboard. And place my final image on it. See, that's where some of my white space is coming from. And then I just change the size of the artboard. Nope, that didn't work. So I'm wondering why I'm still getting all of that white space. I'm not sure why it's showing up. But if you are getting that white space, don't worry. I'm not going to count off on the grade for it because obviously I am having some technical difficulties with Photoshop. And I don't think it's because I need to update anything. Nope. Yeah. We're going to, Photoshop and I are just going to have a little discussion after class today. So now I've got my JPEG, and that's all you guys have to turn in for the assignment or for the assessment. I'm afraid to say that I might have to threaten, you know, the whole Photoshop program today with my, hi Amanda, glad you could make it today. Yeah, I may have to have a conversation with Photoshop that involves a sledgehammer. We'll see. You guys will know if I succeeded if you see me in the Success Center on Saturday. But, you know, I've taken a couple of screenshots just from that creative hub that I can bring in here and adapt to what I need to show my client. And do you guys realize that all of this work doesn't even begin to put it in to Facebook? I still have to go back over to the Creative Hub and build it here. This is just the mock-up to show my client what it could potentially look like. Does that not seem like a little bit of overkill just for a mock-up? The good news is that once you have your very own social media banner templates made, or you're just placing an image into it, it really isn't that difficult. Photoshop and I are just having a day. It makes me wonder when was the last time I turned off my computer for a restart, right? See, you guys aren't the only ones. You really aren't. I hate the days when InDesign does not do what I want it to when I know that it works that way. So how many of you guys have come into the center and I've said, when was the last time you restarted your computer? And say, last month, last week, I don't remember. 10 o'clock Thursday morning, 5 weeks ago. Yeah, classes didn't restart, yeah. No problem, Amanda. Yeah, it can become a real mess if we do not clear out our RAM on our computer, and that's the random access memory. And that's where all of our cut and paste, undo, redo, all of that stuff is saved until we shut down the program and until we restart the computer. It gets saved in that random access memory. And if we don't restart, it's like we have overloaded the brain, and your computer has to have a nap. Yeah, so, you know, you guys know that these things do happen, but I'm glad you're getting to see the opportunity for an instructor, while we have excellent skills with the programs, even the programs are going to turn on us. It happens. It's just life. Take a deep breath, have a cookie, and go on. Yeah, and if you've managed your time and you run into some of these problems, like my text wasn't working, it kept deleting it, wouldn't let me adjust the leading, I had to do it all you know, and if you can't restart because you're afraid something's going to come back or turn back off, you're in the middle of it. Oh, and that's right, I did have a power outage last night. So while I have a battery backup that is programmed for my computer and will save everything for 15 minutes so I can close everything down during a power outage, that doesn't clear out my random access memory unless I actually shut the computer down. Yeah, so I try to make it a point to, I'll shut down tonight, I'll turn on tomorrow before the intro to Mac Shop, and then I will shut my computer down all day Friday and take my day off, come back into the center on Saturday and be in from 9 to 3. And then I'll shut my computer off until Sunday night and then start grading on Monday morning. Work in the center for a couple hours, have a lecture, pretend my children haven't driven me crazy. Yeah, I try to do it every couple of days, depending on what type of things I've been working on. I've been working on a technique that I had to try because it was just so cool, but now I can't make it work, and I don't remember what I did. I can't see right now. Okay. Yeah. You know, I don't really try and do it every night. I should, but I really just kind of, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose things that I may have to undo later. If I'm in the middle of it, yeah, I don't shut it down either. So now that we have that wonderful JPEG image, and I'm not sure this Creative Hub link is going to work for you guys if I put it in the chat box, but when I try to get into it, all I have to do is go to my regular news feed, scroll down to the bottom, and go to advertising. And it brings me into the ads manager, and then I just go to the Creative Hub. It's the second one underneath the ads manager. And then I tell it I want to create a mock-up. And that's how I got my screenshot to adjust everything. But if you're smart, you'll just type everything in and just try and keep a hold of these in the right position and the light button. There's really no wrong way to do it as long as you end up in the same place. So I'm not going to tell you you have to do it step by step my way. If you have an easier way that isn't going to require all the masking, use your way. I want you guys to become comfortable with the software so that even though you haven't restarted your computer in over a week, or take your own advice and turn off your computer once in a while, it's not the end of the world. It is fixable. There are workarounds. You can make it work. It just may require chocolate and a glass of wine afterward. Not that I'm advocating drinking, but sometimes, you know, you got to take that break. So does your computer. Your brain has to rest, so it is. And it's going to be your best friend for a very long time. Sounds kind of strange, right? So let's take a look at the assignment that we're supposed to be working on this week, now that we've got all of this work on the assessment done. The assignment is actually going to be the easier of the two this week. And I need to go to, yeah, here's the magazine ad. The magazine ad is really short, simple, and to the point. You've got to have a cohesive message. You're going to use your tagline and your new slogan. Got to have at least one picture. Got the client contact information, so website, phone number, address. You can just use a website for a magazine ad. That's all you got to have. Utilize 2 design principles, composition theories, crap, balance, focal point, grid layout, etc., that kind of stuff. Stuff we've been studying all mod. And put that your submission and your comments, what principles you used. So say you're using contrast and balance. How does that work for you? Why did you use it? Everything has to have a purpose when you're doing these things. If it doesn't have a purpose and your eye is all over the place, it's time to step back, print it off, draw where your eyes are going, and ask other people to take a look at it and see where their eye is drawn to first. I use small children for this because they are the ones that are going to be blunt with me and be completely honest. Never, ever, ever ask your spouse for a creative critique. It's a bad idea, especially when they have an associate's degree and think a thumbnail is putting a bunch of clip art together. But no, honey, you have to actually put the pencil on the paper. So yeah, his design style and my design style are so opposite ends of the spectrum. He's just allowed to go find clients now and not actually do any of the design work. Mostly because I don't want to keep running back and forth from my office to his to explain shortcuts and why the tool won't work. And why Google is not the same as his email program and which is a web browser and which isn't. And, you know, it's not one of those pleasant things to do. So don't ask your spouse. Ask a small child. They will be blunt and honest and still like it, but they'll tell you if they don't, and they'll tell you why. And you're not going to get your feelings hurt by your spouse, because mine has absolutely no tact at all. Yeah, so, you know, enlist the small children. Teenagers are going to, you know, once they hit that age 12, they start trying to tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. They're developing that filter. So everybody 10 and under, you can trust. Everybody over 10, yeah, tell the over 10 crowd that their help is not needed or welcome and hand the crayons to the little ones. So yeah, I do use small children a lot. And with my stepdaughter having her own daycare, that gives me the option of taking out a whole bunch of printouts and say, okay, guys, circle the big thing that you see circle the first thing you notice on this page with the red crayon. So I get to give a preschool lesson and get a critique from kids. How much fun is that? Some days I even take cookies. Not supposed to, you know, that whole sugar thing. But I also have been known to make them all, I made for Halloween this year, I made them all matching Hunter Safety Orange paracord bracelets, so that when she took them out on a field trip, she would anybody with an orange bracelet she knew was hers. And now I've got way too much orange paracord. Yeah, I get bored with the same pattern, have to go learn a new one. It keeps my fingers active and keeps you from putting food in your mouth. So now that we're talking about magazine pages, I want you guys to, we're going to Google some magazine ads. And we're going to take a look at some of these images. So looking at just these few ads, what are you guys noticing? Tell me the first, we'll choose this one because we have chill out ice cream. What's the first thing you notice about this one? The strawberry, the ice cream. I like that the strawberry is becoming the cone for the ice cream. I think that's just darling. It's adorable. Okay, what else do you notice? What's the next thing? You see the ice cream and the strawberry functioning a cone. No, it's a strawberry. Let's see, I want to, yeah, so we got the Open Nature logo. And what's this here? Her slogan or tagline, right? Okay, so now we've got over here, nice portrayal of their packaging. It works. Do you guys think that the packaging is necessary, or can we just leave with the ice cream? It is a little bit hard to see. Let me see if I can pull that up a little bit. See if I can get the image. Okay, so went from being too big to too small. Okay, so now we've got an example of the packaging. Yeah, so you can see it on the shelf because Ben & Jerry's has that blue with the black lid. Talente, the gelato, has the clear jar with the brown lid. Theirs is very simple, clean, tasteful, high-end kind of design. Have you noticed that the more high-end the product, the less is on the label? So it says exclusively at Safeway. So they put the Safeway logo in here. And then we've got 100% natural, Open Nature ice cream is dessert done right. It's the perfect combination of real ingredients like rich cream and fresh fruit. And of course, it's always RBST free with no artificial flavors or colors ever. Available in 6 naturally delicious flavors. To me, for a magazine ad, it might be just a little bit too much copy, but it gives you that balance that it otherwise wouldn't have. If we took the body copy out, we could make the picture larger, but it wouldn't give us the same balanced feeling. So if you're thinking that you're unbalanced a little bit, then maybe it's time to add a little bit of body copy or maybe take some away. Because body copy isn't always necessary. And this is McDonald's. This is going to be a 2-page spread ad. That's why it's so long. It's great typography. Very, very simplistic. Mix your own flurry. That's all it is. Granola, chocolate, and ice cream. Or is that a Butterfinger bar? Might be a Butterfinger bar. And look how they've done the whole campaign. They've done it with names. Ooh, Bob has strawberry syrup and crushed up candy. And just because I haven't seen Thor, the latest Thor movie yet, might as well look at Thor. I know, I'm stuck on this ice cream thing because it's, minus 20 degrees outside. So I'm stuck on ice cream, of course. Now let's take a look at some of the older advertisements. This was way back, I think mid 80s or so. Don't quote me on it. We have the name, the food, the logo. And then this is when they were using a lot more body copy. Today, would we put so much body copy in it? No, I think we would cut it down quite a bit because we like the simplistic view. We've discovered that simple catches the reader's eye better than if we try to put all of the information in and have it work. Now this one's kind of cool. It's a double page spread and it's telling you what's in your food. But I show this to a small child and say, is this cool? Not if I want them to eat fish again. I told them that that's what their fish sticks looked like before it got battered. I'd never get them to the table. What about the Tabasco ad? What principle are we using here, guys?
Alignment.
We've got alignment. We've got proximity. We've got balance. We've got a little bit of body copy. We've got some additional flavors of Tabasco. Everything's force justified for the body copy. It's very evenly balanced. If we folded it in half, we would have about the same amount on each side. So they're using balance and alignment. That's their two principles. How would you describe that for your assignment? I used balance and alignment to convey the symbol of, yeah. What about this one? It's a little bit overdone, right? It's busy. I can see where they're going. It's a business journal, so they're looking for more information. And it could be a brochure for their advertisements versus a magazine ad. See what else we got. This one. We've got some light and dark going on. Yeah, the colors, it's meant to be more geared towards parents with little kids. So we've got the bright colors. We've got the blue on the white for the contrast. We've got the breathing text. The last one, okay, yeah, it's a little bit, you know, the colors. This one though, they're doing contrast. And again, we've got alignment because they're doing centered. But even though this bottom paragraph is left aligned, it's still centered underneath it and the margins are the same. It is kind of funky. I'm trying to figure out why we're putting silk on cars, but you know. Kind of cool. Ooh, who wants to set me up with this baby? I have not seen that ad. I need. Didn't know I could get an IV of Pepsi. I need that. Okay, so we've got balls. They're all put together. It's a football, a baseball, and a soccer ball. Very creative use of Photoshop to get those pieces together. Nice shadow underneath it. Very simple text. Yeah, the Pepsi one, short and to the point. IV bag full of Pepsi. And it says, come to life. And you guys know I cannot function unless I've had at least six before breakfast, right? It's caramel colored water, but nobody believes me. But you've got the brand recognition, you've got the colors going on, and it's very, very simple. So when you're doing your magazine ads this week, you can use some of the mock-ups that we talked about earlier that I was so happy to see to create your ideas. So what I can do here is telling me to place my image. So where's my image for my food? They're going to be in my downloads, Fit Fun Food. So I'm going to take the food box. Okay, so I'm going to move it down. Or actually, I'm going to make it bigger just because it needs to be, to go all the way across the page. And I'm going to move or hit enter, grab it down. And if I were to take it underneath all of these, no, that didn't work. Got to put it here. Then I can add another one, or I can adjust what I'm seeing in this box so that I can copy and paste it so that it looks like it's a different picture. So if I do a Command J, and then I bring it underneath this one, turn off that one, and now I can move it around so that it's a different type, or I can just use a new picture altogether. And I think that's what we're going to do because we have the Mexican, which we used in the Facebook ad. And I'm just going to drag it up so it'll fill in the space I want it to. This mock-up is really cool. I'm really liking it. I'm going to bring it down here. And turn off that. Did I get that one right? So you just got to play with the layers a little bit to make sure that they're showing up correctly. Keep that one. There we go. Nope. Not sure why this isn't working right. Kind of confusing. I turn my gray off, everything's fine. So you just got to play with your layers and find them. Otherwise, you just create a new document. And it's just going to be 8.5 by 11. So you can click on print. And this is where we got all those cool mock-ups for this magazine ad that is not working the way I want it to. So I'm just going to create 8.5 by 11. This is going to be 72 pixels per inch when you save it as a JPEG. I like working at 300 and then saving it. So I'm just going to create. I'm going to change that to 72, create. And all I really need here is, let's try the salmon because we use the, so I got a great visual on the salmon, and I'm going to hit enter. So I really want to pick some colors out of this. So I'm going to pick this color for my rectangle. I can get some silver or white here that's pretty close. And then I can put my Fit Fun logo that we worked on in week 1. Just drag and drop it. Grab the one I want. It puts it in there. And I just put it in there and then add my body copy or my web design or my web link, which would be www.fitfunfood.com. And I need to make that black just so we can see it. You can't hear me, Lee? Did I lose my sound? Okay. Looks like Lee may have had to go restart Zoom. Okay. So now I've got my web address. All I got to do is put my slogan in. And that's all it's going to take. But I don't need my magazine or my website to be very, very large. I would much rather have that space focused or that attention focused on the logo, the picture. You could even take the picture through the whole background and do an overlay, which would be just like this. Take a box and I'm going to fill it with white. Okay, and now I'm going to put an overlay on it. Come on, where's my overlay? There's my overlay. And it kind of makes the picture a bit washed out, but I can go to soft light. I can play with this a little bit and find out which one is going to be the best possible option for it. So multiply looks pretty good. The logo's showing up, sort of. So we might want to take the opacity on this layer down a little bit. But if we're on multiply, it's not going to really do anything. However, we can put our Fit Fun Food text in white so that it'll show up. And it might require doing some extra work to make the logo show up a little bit better, maybe put a white box behind it. But all I need now is my tagline in a readable space. My catch here is to drag them in with how beautiful the food looks. That one's not appetizing at all. Don't use that one. Divide actually works pretty well. And do I need 100% fill? No, I can take it down or I can move it up. And there I've got black and white with my color logo. I can do the same thing with my logo and make it black and white on the food. So let's try, we decided multiply, wasn't it? Was it multiply? Multiply worked well. And then our text, or our logo, there it is. And if I wanted to do this one, I can do, oh, that one didn't work. Saturation, makes it look more like a watermark. I want that black and white one again. Divide. There's the difference. It's kind of playing with it a little bit. You see how the food's coming through it. Don't really want to do an overlay. If we darken it. Not sure here. I really want to keep the vibrant colors of the food, so I don't really want to take that opacity down too much, but I still want to be able to read it. So I think maybe putting a white box behind my text is going to be our best, or the logo is going to be my best option. So all I have to do is put it underneath the logo and then adjust it. So that it matches my still got a little bit of work on that one. So now I've got my Fit Fun food. It's showing up nice. All I got to have is a tagline. What do you guys think? We could even do a really cool technique with this. I'm going to do a Shift Command Option E, tighten everything up. And because I really like this, the way this is working, I'm going to play a little bit. Let's see if this will work. I have 10 minutes to make it work. You think I can do it, guys? Let's see here. I want to make it bigger. Okay, so I've got that selected. I've got my picture selected. I can go to image. No, it's edit. And where is it? I want to make a clipping mask. So if I just select my food, I get confused switching back and forth from Illustrator to Photoshop in the same day. It has the same problem. Oh, darn, I have forgotten what I was doing. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make it work, guys. It's going to make a clipping mask to have the food show through it. and I've suddenly lost it, and I know I'm going to have to go figure it out again. I know it's in my layering and how I'm creating this mask, and it's right there. It's right there. Maybe I'll figure it out by next week when we have our week 1 lecture. So any questions on the assignments, the discussion, or the assessment, which is the wonderful social media ad that we took all day to do?
Is this going to be posted up in the announcements?
Yes, Lisa, it will be.
Thank you.
Will it be posted on YouTube?
Yes, I will get it posted on YouTube. Last night's lecture is now there. It had some issues, but I also put the transcribed link with it. So that's why you're getting 2 links in the announcements now. One's for transcribed and one is for YouTube. So if one isn't working, you should be able to access the other. YouTube and I stopped arguing about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So you guys are welcome. I'm sorry it took so long to get last night's up, but YouTube didn't bother to tell me there was a problem. They usually email me and they didn't this time. So yeah, I will get the post. This lecture will be posted tonight as soon as it's done processing. Any other questions? Okay, what's your question, Lilia?
I can't get my colors to balance out on my background.
Okay, let me stop my sharing and you share your screen with us.
It's for week 1.
That's okay.
Okay.
Just show me what's going on.
Okay. They told me to do it this way, and I'm like, okay, I got lost.
Okay.
This is how it looks. That's what I was talking about.
Okay, so what you're having an issue is, let me request remote control real quick.
Okay.
So the problem you're having is with the text box itself, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All you have to do is take the text box and move it into the margins.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like that. And then that's where you come in and start formatting your text. Is that what you're talking about with balancing your text box?
Yes, ma'am. And I had to put my logo on the background, and they said my writing was too small, and something about the contrast or something like that with the other one, because the logo in the background, that was matching kind of like, and you couldn't read the words.
Okay, so you're missing your contrast, which just means you need to choose another color.
Yes,
for this, though, you don't have to have your logo in the background. You don't have to put that watermark on there. Yes, you can say, take a little extra space from your margin and put your logo here in the master pages.
Yes, ma'am.
And then just have that 2 column and leave some white space.
Yes, ma'am.
The only thing I'm seeing right here is that deliverables needed. You can put that in bold.
Yes, I had started always back over again.
Yeah, so keeping this out of italics is going to help you an awful lot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
But you are definitely on the right track. You just have to get it formatted and put up into the submission, and yeah, you're on your way.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions tonight, guys?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So as soon as you stop, okay, I can do that. Yes, I want to stop share. Okay, so where is everybody now? Okay. So is everybody else good on the simplicity of a magazine ad and the simplicity of social media? And you guys don't have to use Facebook. You can use Twitter, Instagram, Google. They're all good, and they'll all be different sizes. You guys can follow any. I just have time to do one because, you know, I got to make it as difficult as possible. Just to show you that, you know, I'm human too. And then I forgot to restart my computer. If there aren't any more questions, I'm going to call it a night and let you guys get busy on those discussion posts that I know some of you still need to do. You guys have a great night, and I will see you next Monday at 6 o'clock, okay?